Hi, I'm here at Jagex HQ to talk RuneScape with, well, why don't you guys introduce yourself for everyone?
So I'm Joseph Redsall, I'm the product owner for the Menaphos expansion.
And I'm Dave Osborne, lead designer, so I'm responsible for this being good.
And for anyone that hasn't heard of it before, hopefully you have, RuneScape is a long-running MMO that's been around for some time, and up till now it's been seeing pretty much continuous updates for its player base. Things are starting to have a change, and as has been said, we've got the Menaphos expansion coming out. Why don't one of you, whoever wants to take the lead, tell us about the Menaphos expansion that's coming out for RuneScape?
Okay, yeah, I'll go for it. So this is a big expansion to our desert region. We're going to open up a city that had been promised for 12 years now in our game. But for new players, it's a sense of this is a desert-themed expansion where a pharaoh has thrown open its gates to say, come inside and see if you can survive my city. And you form a rebellion against this pharaoh. Gather together an entourage, get all of the kind of factions together to try to overthrow this kind of malevolent tyrant, basically. And in doing so, you're also kind of discovering what's underneath the city. Various shifting tombs and a large Slayer dungeon that's got a huge number of mobs in there to defeat.
And within the expansion, there's obviously a huge amount of content that's going to be coming with that. Tell us a little bit about the kind of main features of that. I believe, like you said, we've got tombs in a desert. What are they going to be?
So the Shifting Tombs is our new environment for high-level skilling. So you'll be able to go into the labyrinthine catacombs beneath the city and earn extra special loot and XP if you survive and manage to get out in time. One of the other things that we're adding to the city, we're also continuing our main storyline. So there's going to be several other story quests that you'll be able to do. And then for combat players, we're adding the brand new dungeon, which will be able to increase our Slayer level cap much higher, so you'll be able to go and fight even harder monsters.
Okay, and you said that obviously there's new narrative content. This being an expansion, I guess this is going to be one of the biggest updates that RuneScape's seen for a while.
Possibly ever. Yeah, absolutely. If you consider, like, we've been releasing weekly. Obviously, this kind of soap opera-esque thing, like every week there's a new addition to the story. So it's been constantly changing, but those have been slightly smaller updates. With this one, we've decided to collect it all together, and that's because our players told us that really, rather than getting every kind of story in piecemeal, it's hard to immerse yourself in a storyline. This is a huge chunk of stuff. This is, I get to go in there, I get to explore something, I get to jump into various kinds of content. And I don't have to wait next week for something that better suits my playstyle. I've got everything in one go. So yeah, it's thoroughly different from what we're used to in terms of development.
And in terms of creating that content, then obviously that's going to allow you to have a much bigger narrative storyline to tell to people. How much bigger is the story this time around?
Well, what's interesting about the Menaphos expansion is that we're continuing the storyline from quests which some have been started over 12 years ago. And so the challenge for us was to weave together all of the existing desert storylines where there's almost 10 other quests that players could do. And we want to make sure there are callbacks to all of them, and all of the plot threads from all of these different stories all are weaved together into the Menaphos storyline. And it's something that we could never have done before with our old release schedule, where we're doing still medium and small size update, but we couldn't have done this bigger story before. So it's been a fantastic opportunity for us to do it.
One of the important things is that there's no kind of demand on a player to understand all of that story to come into Menaphos. For me, it's a case of you do one or two quests that kind of get you towards Menaphos, which is you walking your way through the desert, understanding what the desert storyline is about, and then you reach the gates and you're allowed in. So anybody can start up RuneScape. We've got an open weekend from the 9th to the 12th, which is anybody can come and play for free. And you can experience the Menaphos, get in there, and then use that as a jumping off point for the rest of our storylines. Because you've got 200 quests. 200 odd quests in the rest of RuneScape. It's not only about Menaphos, there's a lot there to go and explore. And if you're a bit like me, that kind of pragmatic player, you've been waiting for a right point to jump into an MMO, it's a good time to do it. It's free. And it's also got this, this wonderfully themed, beautiful Menaphosian city to come try out.
And you, as you say, you've got some prerequisite content to complete before you actually access the Menaphos expansion. Is that very much about giving the players that are coming into it a base in terms of the story before they get into it, rather than creating a power gap for them?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's that kind of, we don't want to, perfectly aware that a game that's 16 years old could feel quite daunting, got a lot of complexity to it. What these quests do is give you a bit of pathing, a sense of you will understand the game once you've played these quests, understand what the story is doing, a tone as well, because it's a bit more, colourful, a bit more inventive and humorous than your traditional MMO. So we just get kind of acclimatising people and then bringing them into Menaphos. But over the past couple of months, we've also been doing an achievement system and a path system, which cuts through all of the stuff to really give you the greatest hits of what RuneScape is. So you don't have to feel daunted again. We'll take you through the best stuff and path you through it.
I mean, the game is fairly unique. It does have a little bit of British humour. I don't think I've seen any MMO with a character called Evil Dave.
Yeah, Evil Dave's great. He's somebody who is convinced that he is evil, but really isn't. He's falling way short. So it's all about kind of putting a front on and trying to be the Machiavellian villain when really you are nothing of the sort.
Yeah. And so continuing on with the expansion itself, obviously this is a big change, not just for players getting a massive amount of content, and hopefully that will be well received, but for the studio itself, it must have been a huge change to go from episodic, quick releases to a massive expansion. How did the studio cope with that?
Yes. So that was a challenge, not insurmountable. So we have different development teams, and we did a mild restructure. But I think we ended up with, rather than like many smaller teams, we ended up with fewer larger ones. People are still working with the guys that they like working with. It was quite cathartic, but it was ultimately empowering because we had the larger teams, so we could do more. And I think people feel like they could, really make a difference and have grander visions for what they wanted to do. And a few other things changed as well. But it was. I think we've been like 5 months in now, and it kind of feels just like normal. Like we're used to it.
Yeah, we used to just creating some content and zapping it out in a few weeks afterwards, a month afterwards. We do create content that fast because the building blocks of the game are relatively simple. But so we'd see the reaction immediately. What you've got to do is make sure that there's still we've got player visits, we've got live streams, we're publishing design documents, we're making it very clear what we're making. So we've got that constant feedback throughout.
So obviously you've risen to that challenge, you've got the game out. I'm sure that QA loved the fact that they had a lot more time to look at stuff. But in terms of the actual content of the game, we've already talking about the dungeons. Obviously, there's a huge amount of new narrative content coming with that. Again, we've covered that. What other content is there once players chew through all the new narrative that they're going to be getting? What's going to keep people there?
There's so much stuff. So we designed it to be richer. There's a lot of things we're not talking about because we like our players to go in there, find it, tell everybody else, and be the first person. Maybe there's a broadcast that they're the first person to find something, so everybody finds out about that. We might name something after them because of it, shout about them in live streams. That's really how RuneScape works. It's a little bit of the hidden element. But for me, I'm a big fan of the shifting teams. In that, end-game content for MMOs is always, or it feels like it's always combat oriented. You're hitting big bosses with sticks, you're running through raids with mates. I really like that it's just this kind of throwaway, this lightweight mini game in which I can just spend 5 minutes effectively doing a supermarket sweep or a crystal maze, just rushing around getting some resources before the time runs out. And if I do, then I get a huge amount of reward. And I can just litter my game experience with that, and it's really nice.
One of the other things we spent more time doing is adding more skilling activities around the city. So obviously the way RuneScape works is you have different things available at different skill levels, so we're trying to fill out the different skill levels. So we've got new woodcutting, new fishing, and new types of thieving, and new mining, and new hunter creatures all around the city, which fill out sort of the mid-level, which is quite good because if you are a new player, it's like one other new thing to do. Even if you're a high-level player, you will be getting reputation for it. The reputation gives you more rewards. So, you can come to Menaphos for the skilling, stay for the reputation, get the rewards. Which is quite good. The other things we've added, like the collection system. So you've got things to sort of find around the city. And we've the frustrating thing is we want to tell you everything, but we can't because, as Dave says, we've got a couple of things in there that we want people to discover for their on their own. But we're wanting and hoping that players can be sharing in the weeks, the first weeks, like guides of like helping each other, making sure they're all collecting all of the things they can find,
getting each other around the city of Menaphos. And talk about the city of Menaphos. Obviously, with a large expansion again, it gives you the opportunity to really world build. Is that something that you've been able to do? We had a little time with the game today, and I was seeing things like you had the city of four quarters, you had particularly the music. There's so much music and so much emphasis on music for this. Did you really get the opportunity to world build because you've had that sort of resource to work with?
So my background is environment art, and one of the things that scares me most is the blank canvas, and the fact that the first day of Menaphos was just a barren, with like this tiny wall that was really short and horrible, and so it has been very exciting to build it from nothing, literally see the city rise up out of the sand, and we built it all in grey box first, and then we kind of think, does the pyramid make sense here or there, and kind of squish the city around, and it's once it gets past the grey box stage and we're actually colouring things in and putting textures on things, it's really nice to like walk around and see, oh my god, it's actually taking shape. One of the interesting things from the audio team, they went with us to do a short documentary on like telling the players about Menaphos, and the audio guy was down at the river recording sound effects of birds and things so that he could come back and then put them into the game, which is always quite exciting.
That's fantastic. It's always nice to see that sort of inspiration just coming out of left field, be it anything from winding a child's toy box backwards in one game to recording rivers in another, and it's something I love to hear about, is just hearing the places that the audio team get their inspiration from. Like you said, I think it was Morocco. It was. From an art perspective, do you get inspiration from environmental art from similar places, from like Middle Eastern architecture?
So when we were in Morocco, I had my camera and I was just like snapping photos for texture reference, because it was all right there, like, and I could. This sounds great, and this wall's great, and the plaster crumbling is fantastic.
I think that's possibly the first time anyone said this sand is great.
You're an exciting man.
One of the things, the reason sand is great, and I'll tell you, this is really good. So the NXT engine is our new engine. It came out last year, and it lets us do more. Like we've got a bigger draw distance and more definition. And one of the things that's come out with Menaphos is we've got normal maps, so it means that we can like push up the graphical fidelity of the textures, which is pretty cool. I mean, for a game that still like runs in a browser, I think it's pretty cool. And we've still got, with RuneScape, pushing the accessibility. You can turn these things off if you want, but if you've got a good PC, turn everything up to the max. You can have volumetric lighting and caustic effects on the water now. It all looks pretty cool.
So, roughly when can we expect to see Menaphos hitting our screens?
The 5th of June. Wait a minute, that's like next week.
And other than that, I believe you've got the free weekend coming up.
Yep.
Correct? You've also got, it's going to after that be a members only update, but it's not going to be a purchasable update. So once you've got a membership, you're straight into the expansion. Is that correct?
This was a conscious decision, because when we were talking about should we do an expansion instead of just doing the regular content, people were saying, well, yeah, we could charge X amount for it, but we just felt, no, this is part of your membership. We want to give good value for money when you're a member, and we felt like this is the best way of delivering that. So it lets us do more, and we don't want to charge anyone who's already subscribed.
That's great. Well, thank you both very much for your time. If you want to see Menaphos, Pharaohs, Sand in action, then feel free to go ahead on June the 5th and check out the new RuneScape expansion. Thank you very much.